Hey there, and welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to dive into this really amazing classic text called Take God Into Your Counsel. If you've ever found yourself totally stuck, wondering what to do with your life, or how to avoid making some pretty epic mistakes, well, you're in the right place. Today, we're unpacking some incredible advice that basically gives us the ultimate guide for everything we do. It's honestly a bit like finding the ultimate cheat code for navigating life, and I'm super excited to break it all down for you. Let's get into it. So tell me, have you ever tried to carry something way too heavy? Like, imagine trying to lug around a giant backpack that's just completely stuffed with massive boulders. You wouldn't even be able to stand up straight, let alone try to walk around with it. Well, our source text describes something called the penalty of sin in exactly this way. When we mess up or do something wrong, it's literally like tossing another huge rock into that backpack. Eventually, it becomes a weight that is just completely impossible for any of us to carry on our own. And that brings us right to part one, the unpayable price. The devotional text actually starts off with this really powerful verse from 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 24. It says, "Who his own self bare our sins in his own body on the tree." What this is showing us is so cool. It means Jesus stepped right in to take that impossible, rock-filled backpack completely off our shoulders. He took that massive, crushing weight of our mistakes for us. The text makes it absolutely clear this wasn't something we could ever just handle ourselves. We desperately needed a rescuer. Now, let's look at a really big word the text uses, atonement. The author asks this super fascinating question. They ask, what must sin actually be if no finite being, which is just an old school way of saying a regular everyday human like you or me, could make atonement? Atonement basically means paying a price or making up for a wrong that's just way too big to fix alone. Imagine you accidentally broke something that cost $1 billion and all you have is like $3 and some pocket lint in your piggy bank. You can't pay it. There's no way. The source points out that only a divine being could exhaust that heavy curse and pay that impossible price for us. Because of this absolutely amazing rescue mission where the price was paid for us, the author tells us we need to do one major thing: secure the grace of God every single day. Think of it kind of like putting on your favorite warmest winter gear before heading out into a massive neighborhood snowball fight. We need to ask for God's help daily so that we don't make mistakes in our lives. It's not a one and done kind of deal, it's a daily #1 priority. Which leads us perfectly into part two, the ultimate counselor. Imagine managing yourself versus actually seeking God's guidance. You might feel perfectly competent. You might think, I'm smart enough to lay out my own plans. I've totally got this. I can figure life out completely on my own. But the text gives a really strong warning here. It says that relying entirely on your own judgment is, quote, unsafe for you or for anyone to do. It's kind of like trying to wander through a dark, creepy jungle with no flashlight and absolutely no map. Just completely unsafe. But on the flip side, seeking God's guidance, that is the safe route. The author really urges us to take God into your counsel. But what does that actually mean? Well, let's think about the word counselor. It means a wise guide or a master builder. Think about when you get a massive, super complicated Lego set for your birthday. You wouldn't just throw the instruction manual in the trash and start guessing where those thousands of tiny pieces go, right? That'd be crazy. You'd look at the instructions from the person who actually created the set. Taking God into your counsel is exactly like that. It's asking the creator of life for the instruction manual rather than just guessing. And guys, here is the absolute best news. He will not be sought of in vain. You can be totally 100% confident when you ask for help. The text promises that if you seek him for guidance, God is not going to just ignore you. It's not like talking into a broken walkie-talkie where all you hear is fuzz and static. If you reach out for those instructions, God will always be there to answer and guide you clearly. But we do have to watch out. Let's look at part 3, the too busy trap. A really crucial point here is that people are always busy here and there about matters of minor importance. Now, minor importance just means things that aren't the absolute most important things in the whole world. For you, that might mean getting totally caught up in a new video game, doing your chores around the house, playing sports, rushing through your math homework, or binge-watching your favorite TV shows. Now, these things aren't necessarily bad at all, but man, they sure do take up a ton of our time. The problem is, when we fill up our entire day with all those matters of minor importance, it pushes the one great subject right out of our thoughts. The text warns that people end up with no time to pray, no time to watch, and no time to search the scriptures, which is just another way of saying reading the Bible. We get all together way too busy, and suddenly the day is totally over and we haven't spent a single minute talking to our ultimate counselor. Thankfully, there's a pretty simple fix. To avoid letting what the author calls your moral powers become dwarfed, which honestly just means letting your goodness shrink up like a sad little houseplant that nobody ever waters, the text calls on us to follow 3 simple steps. Step 1, stop and make time. Step 2, pray to God. And step 3, read the Bible. Doing these things is how we make the necessary preparation for our future life. It's how we water that plant so it grows up nice and strong. And that brings us to our final section. Part 4, choosing your path. You have a direct choice to make today. On one side, you can let those precious hours pass by indifferently, meaning you just kind of shrug and don't care, playing games all day and completely ignoring the instruction manual. But remember, that leads straight to those dwarfed, shrunken moral powers we just talked about. Or on the flip side, you can be earnest. You can work hard and devote your time to perfecting a Christian character. You can choose to grow up healthy and strong just by spending a little time with God. The text gives us this totally clear instruction. Glorify God by choosing His way, His will. If you make this choice, if you choose to let Him be the guide of your life instead of trying to stumble through that dark jungle all by yourself, the text promises something really beautiful. It says God will be your wise counselor and your fast, unchanging friend forever. So as we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a direct question straight from the text. Heaven with its attractions is before you. Which shall it be? You know, your life and your character will ultimately testify to the choice you make. So are you going to try to carry that impossibly heavy backpack all alone, or are you going to let Jesus take it? Will you just guess how to build your life, or are you going to ask the Creator for the Lego instructions? Will you be too busy playing games, or will you actually make time to pray? Which path will you choose today? Think about that for a bit, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.